Hey there, team. So your team members are not listening to you. I hear you. I've got you covered. Give me just 5 minutes and I will walk you through why they're not listening and why that's actually on you. Thing is, all is not lost. I'll show you how to change one little thing that will set you apart as a rockstar communicator and an awesome leader. Now, if you want free access to my free leadership communication cheat sheet, drop me a line below and I'll make sure that you get a copy. Now, my name is Amanda Rosazza and I'm the new leader's favorite leadership coach. Why? I'm uncorporate, unconventional and unboring, and I'm here to help you to ditch dysfunction, make magic at work with a straight up leadership strategy that you can implement after watching all of my videos. Now, just give me 5 minutes and I will walk you through why they're not listening, why that's on you, and also I'll show you my #1 communication hack that my private clients are absolutely raving about. This is the one thing that will set you apart as a rockstar communicator and awesome leader. So, they're not listening to you, that's you. You're just not communicating effectively. Let's just call it what it is. Maybe you're overcomplicating things, maybe you're going into too much detail, maybe you're not going into enough detail. Thing is, you're not talking their language. Maybe you're losing them in jargon, or it's language or communication style that they just can't relate to. And that, my friends, is where the magic is. The magic is in a little thing that I like to call the analogy. Now, if you're familiar with the concept of an analogy is comparing one thing with another. Typically, it's to explain a concept or to give someone clarification on something. If you're familiar with Tom Hanks's movie Forrest Gump, you would know the analogy, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get, meaning that when you lift that lid, when you start living your life, you never know what's going to come at you. So you need an effective analogy for communicating different concepts in the workplace so that your team members can understand what you're trying to say to them and it's in their language. So how do you always have an effective analogy in your back pocket ready to go? Here is the hack. Here is the little secret that we've been using, and it is our super duper friend, artificial intelligence. And why are we using AI? It's not to shortcut our ability as a leader. It's not to stop using that beautiful brain of ours. It's to save time, and it's to help us to communicate clearly and effectively on time, every time. So I'm doing a lot of work at the moment with my private clients on how we can leverage AI to help us to be better leaders and just shortcut the stuff that would normally take us a longer amount of time. And this by far has been my biggest success story to date. So I just had to share it. Easiest way to use AI to create an analogy so that you can communicate a concept really clearly is to ask your preferred AI software. Today we're using ChatGPT to explain the concept to a 5-year-old. So a concept that I often find myself having to explain is organizational culture. So I'm going to tell it to please explain organizational culture to a 5-year-old. Now, why do we say, let me correct my spelling mistake there. Why do we say to a 5-year-old? It's not because we're insinuating that our team members have the education level of a 5-year-old. It's just when we distill things down to their most basic, relatable point, like explaining something to a 5-year-old, it's just relatable and it's super easy for people to understand. So let's hit go on that and let's see what it comes back with. So ChatGPT is saying, imagine your school is like a big family. Just like your family has its own special way of doing things, talking and celebrating, your school does too. This is what we call organizational culture. Now you would shift it to be, imagine the company is like a big family. In your school, there might be rules about sharing, playing fair and helping each other. So you could talk about family norms instead of school norms. Maybe there's a special song you sing in the morning or a fun way you clean up after playtime. All these things make your school special and different to other schools. That's like its own special culture. So you would shift that. So you can even tell ChatGPT, can you change school to be company, for example. So you can customize it to whatever you want it to be. And I encourage you also to put your own unique spin on it. So another thing I like to say when I'm talking about organizational culture, sometimes when we're explaining culture, it's like trying to grab onto smoke because it's such an intangible thing. So here's a way that we can explain it. So you can customize it, ask your preferred AI program to change it up until you hit on something that you're really happy with and you'll know your team members will relate to. And then you are all set. That is the easiest way to create an analogy. Now, just a reminder, team, if you do want free access to my free leadership communication cheat sheet, remember to drop me a line below. Otherwise, go and have fun with AI, creating some analogies so that you can communicate clearly and concisely with your team.